Hey. Welcome to my forest dwelling. I came here to seek peace and solitude whilst working on projects. My computer is overheating slightly, so I'm going to take a break and share an update on where my thoughts have been regarding the channel, videos some of you have been asking for, as well as the future of this channel. First of all, I started this channel with the initial motivation just being to share animations, concepts, characters, anything creative, all the while sharing the process as I went, and then the final video with a gradually building audience. The best early example of this is the first Who Did It cartoon. I made some notes whilst trying some voices out, and then went on to experiment with the character designs, the colour schemes, sharing bits and pieces as I went. And after only about a week and a half, I shared the final cartoon. Every step of that process was free from overthinking and frustration and was just rewarding and enjoyable. In all its simplicity, I still love that cartoon and have been chasing the feeling I had working on it in some way ever since. My experience making cartoons wasn't consistent going forward, however, and a couple of projects some people have been asking about on the channel were impacted by this in some way, which I'll update on now. Jojo's Condensed Adventure. So yeah, sorry to those of you who are looking out for more of these, but I'm just going to say it right away. I'm just done with them. I really enjoyed moments from making these cartoons, especially with the first one, and I really appreciate how much people have enjoyed them. But even the Phantom Blood cartoon was the first time I started pushing myself in an unhealthy way and started overthinking small details and worrying about the views of the video. I honestly could have left it at that first one, but given how well it did, I think I started trying to push what I could make with my limited resources beyond what it was and maybe justify all the attention on my earlier cartoons I was getting. And I just got in my own head with it, I think. This only got worse with each Jojo cartoon I made, as I kept creating them from more of a place of self-doubt and insecurity, worrying about trying to outdo myself and worrying about the measurable success of the channel way more than anything else. What's more, I think I had this pressure to outdo myself with each video I was making and make them a little bit more polished and a little bit more professional looking, despite having very limited resources. And so I stopped listening to my gut instincts regarding what I actually enjoyed making and engaging with creatively after that first Jojo cartoon, which I did genuinely want to do. And it definitely had an impact because I honestly hated making the last two Jojo cartoons. I just pushed them out since they were half finished anyway, and I didn't want to waste what I'd already made. I'll still do parody stuff when I feel like it, so it's not impossible these characters would appear in a small skit, like a little Jojo skit, but the Condensed Adventure is finished now. So whilst Jojo's Condensed Adventure gradually became an example of a type of video that I made with a more sort of cynical, sort of anxious kind of creative drive, it was actually a different project that I'm far more passionate about that really exemplifies the worst of this ever-growing unhealthy work ethic. The Chipfork murders. I have a lot more fondness for this passion project of mine, and I really love what I had produced with the help of some brilliant voice actors and illustrators who helped with the background art and like the kitchen scene and some more detailed drawings here and there. The first Who Did It was really rewarding and fun to experiment with. However, that same overthinking and internal pressure I developed since the Phantom Blood cartoon had only increased tenfold, and I found that I was completely blinded by it at this point. The first Who Did It was really rewarding and fun to experiment with whilst working on, but this one involved so much stress and overthinking and anxiety as I let it become a 10-minute long animation as opposed to the initial 2-minute skit. It ballooned way out of my grasp and my health took a toll getting it finished. I really love this cartoon, and watching it now, I'm really impressed with what was accomplished, but I didn't need to put the pressure on myself that I did, and I didn't need to prove something to myself by making what is the equivalent of a TV cartoon pilot length animation. This was the absolute pinnacle of what that Phantom Blood cartoon had stirred up inside me, to worry so much about my work and to try to keep outdoing myself. When I finished the first Who Did It, I felt excited, rewarded, and ready to make something else. When I finished the Chipfork murders, despite how proud I am of that project overall, I felt nothing but empty, which is super depressing, I know. What's next then? By late 2023, I was very burnt out and had to find work to pay bills almost immediately, so I stepped away from the channel throughout most of 2024, as I worked at a couple of animation studios. I made a few videos whilst employed earlier this year that were super short, and I quite like, but it was still really tough to stay motivated making these whilst working full time. A few months ago, my previous job finished, however, and I found myself with some free time. But instead of diving right back into the channel, I used this time to reflect and remind myself why I started making cartoons in the first place. This brings me to the future of Who Did It. The Chipfork murders was made with the absolute worst of that pressure and unhealthy work ethic I had built up. And after a lot of reflection, I unfortunately cannot commit to continuing this story. I honestly don't want to step back into the stress I caused myself with part 1, and I don't want to rush a conclusion out either. It was tough to make this decision, given the effort put into the first, and I'm sorry to all of you who enjoyed that cartoon so much. It really means a lot to me seeing the feedback on it, but I can't approach something I made into such a mountain for myself at such a frustrated time in my life. That being said, for the first time in years, I feel the same energy that got that first Who Did It cartoon made and contributed to some of my favourite decisions on the channel. So I can say with certainty now that I will be making more Who Did It. I want to move forward, not just for the Who Did It cartoons, but for the channel generally with the same energy that produced the first Who Did It. I want to reapproach it with less pressure on myself and more room for creativity and experimentation. So expect to see more Who Did It, following more so in the footsteps of that first cartoon, produced in a way that is more fun, natural and sustainable for me. This same renewed positive approach extends to other cartoons I have planned as well, and all sorts of different videos I'm excited to start sharing with you all. Lastly, I want to say that I'm sorry to those, especially on the Patreon, that have seen a very inconsistently run page. I had a hard time managing it after feeling so burnt out and needlessly stressed. I'm looking to reapproach the Patreon with the same energy that I'm going to be bringing to the channel with this brand new chapter. So with all that said, I think the air from me talking has cooled my computer down a bit now. So I'm going to get to work on the next cartoon to share with you all very soon. And thanks for listening to me talk. And good luck finding your way out of here. Okay, bye.